Akawasonko and confirmer Obi Biara. We are for Ken TV so ene 11th July 2025. Na ene day so ena kopemu Ablekuma nofa. Omo eyo mo rerun no. Eye between Madam Erabna ene Madam Ekwefiye. Na chese ye butu na ye na so ni mu se Ablekuma nofa de eye NPP stronghold. Na ye chef the we eye Ablekuma West for etim SSI ya eye maame osro wusu ene timi endia konwa ne biemu a Reverend Pastor Kweku ena atimi awini ne ye hwe se ne so no ebia betimi asi na konwa na kwa akodi NDC for ho ana se NPP amanyoko no betimi a maintain seat no eno aho paibo na ye hwe no aso ho no abobu an ye di nti abusafo kame ho na ye na ye nkofio de ho na ye konkɔhwe enyema ekoso de wi a vote ni ekɔ de wi amanfo aba amanfo piepie from dem e ba beto aba na na because se wo pia wo bi a kire se Ghana wo bi ahwaton obi a say abapa paba eti ye hye election way e be kire se ampara abapa paba na whether yes or no ni nyina ebe free resource na ebe banim tabusa kame ho na ye nya ye kwafio to na ye konkɔhwe enyema ekoso ewo Ablekuma North.
Where you are storing the referee species to, people have gone there to put fire inside. So they will tell you, this is where it's a species, knowing that it's not there. And then finally, when we bring ours, they said, I can't vouch for this. It is not fair. Some mischief is happening. All we are saying is that we are, as a principle, refusing to participate so that people's mind will go on this mischief for the sake of our country. Ghana must be the winner, not a politician. If we allow some politicians to be smart today, they will threaten Ghana tomorrow. Tomorrow you might have some people who are taxed. When they realize that force is being used, they also apply force. When two forces come together, it's mayhem. Today we are quiet, but someone will not quiet tomorrow. So please, let's discourage the behavior where a politician will intentionally say, I can't find my papers. And they will chase the electoral commission and bring their papers. And they will tell you that the one you have, I can't vouch it. It is not the way to go. Today, we look very unpopular. So when we talk, nobody says it can threaten our democracy. That is what.
Is the party ready to take credit in case you wins this particular election?
What?
Is the party ready to take credit in case your candidate wins this election?
At least I'm proud of the principle. The principle is that we said a rerun is not the way to go. And we are still standing by it. But individuals who join political parties have rights. The lady has the right to participate in the process. She said she's going. I will not condemn her. Already I've said that she's a big sister. So my mind is with the party, but my heart is with her. In NDC, there are people who went independent. Later they came to join NDC. Now she's on her own more or less. If she wins again, she comes back, it's no news. But we would have stated our protest, which is that as a nation, we should not encourage political parties who are very experienced, well organized, to say that I don't have any paper because they realize that the seat is getting out of their hands. If you endorse this, have you thought of the danger? Next election, anywhere I realize that it is tight, I'll start chasing the issue officials. It is not the way to go. We want a peaceful country. Peace comes with justice. When I was so confusion happened, the NDC complained for 8 years. We have been cheated, oh, they beat us. Now, see what is happening. We don't want these things to be recurring. So we want a peaceful country so we can have development. Me, I'm politically biased. So when I talk, someone say, oh, go boy, the same people. But we are looking up to independent people like you, the media, and civil society. When NDC is wrong, tell them they are wrong. When MPP2 is wrong, tell us. If you keep quiet and one day we start burning, you too, you will burn. You understand what I'm saying? So we still keep our principle that this process is a flawed process, but we want a peaceful country. So we will observe. In any case, power is with them. Ghanaians say they want NDC in power, and we respect that. That's what I have to say.
Would the party, sanction her anyhow?
No, I mean, I will not say anything for now. But if you understand the things this lady has gone through, going to punish her is not one of the things you consider. Let's see what God will do by 5 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we've been talking to the former health minister, Mr. Bernard Okoboy, who is here in his personal capacity to support the NPP candidate Nana Efriye Owusu in this particular rerun. He explained to the media that he's here in his capacity as a friend and as a brother to the candidate, and though he stands by the principles of the NPP headquarters, the national decision, he is also here as a personal friend and as a personal brother to support the candidate. We try to find out whether the party's decision is likely to affect her chances. He's only hoping for the best, and he's hoping, and he was also appealing to the media and Ghanaians in general to try to speak the truth and to protect the democratic process, the electoral processes, so that other activities, illegal activities that are used by other political parties to snatch powers that do not belong to them will be discouraged. So we've been reporting here. We've been here at DVLA Awoshi, Adamami 2 polling station, where we are told that about 613 registered voters are expected to pass by to cast their vote. We've seen a few political party hierarchy, especially the NPP party hierarchy, who have been their personal capacity to show their support behind the NPP candidate. Let's not forget that the party national executives are on one side, but we still have some of the constituency supporters who have decided to support the candidate. If you watch the media yesterday, we saw the likes of the former Vice President, Dr. Baumia, giving some kind of financial support. We also heard that Mr. Agyapong has also given some kind of financial support to the NPP candidate for this particular election. We've had some members of parliament throwing their support verbally behind the candidate, the NPP candidate. You see, the issue is a bit dicey. The issue is a bit dicey because we have the party executive saying we are not going for the election. Then we have the candidate and the supporters of the candidate saying they wanted to go for the party. Then we have individual party leadership, individuals who have not really come out to say they are supporting her action, but financially they are supporting her action, and most of them are also saying they are supporting her candidature, her intention to run for the rerun because of her personal effort and a lot of punishment. I mean, they claim she had to go through to get to this point. So we are still here. We were talking to the presiding officer earlier on, Mr. Kwatin, who was telling us, Mr. Kwatin Jemfi, who was telling us that Awoshi Adamami too. You know, this is one of the hotspots in the constituency, and because of that, he was telling us that things surprisingly have been cool, and he attributed the serene and the peaceful nature to the amount of security officials deployed here. We have a lot of them, a lot of the security officials deployed here who are here to maintain peace. And he believes, Mr. Jemfi believes that this is the reason why activities have been smooth and calm so far at here, DVLA Awoshi, Adamami 2 polling station. So we've been here, we've been reporting. We'll bring you more feed. We'll give you more feed as and when it happens here at Awoshi, DVLA.
If you can hear me, you engaged the Honorable Bernard Okoboy, who is said to be there in his personal capacity to support the candidate. What do you make generally of the presence of the likes of Honorable Okoboy on the ground, and whether that will have any effect in bringing the seat home to the MPP? I guess Humu can't hear me. So let's leave it there. When we reconnect, I will put that same question to him. It's a question that viewers would want to know. What will be the effect of especially members of the MPP showing up after the party had said it would not participate, yet you have some leading functionaries of the party at the very last minute either doling out cash to the candidate or verbally throwing their support behind the candidate. Will that have any effect in changing the party's fortunes or the candidate's fortunes on the ground? There are also those who argue that indeed the EC has no such legal mandate in the context of what the current situation is to stage any rerun at all. And that question is also left hanging. But for a brief recap of events since December 7th, on the January 4th, after the NPP has gone to court, in the Accra High Court, Justice forcing Agyapong, who sat on the case, concluded that the EC should go back and collate whatever outstanding polling stations there are and declare a winner subsequently. That collation, in part, took place, except that it wasn't conclusive, and the EC is not on record to have gone back to the court to perhaps draw the court's attention to what impediments there's been in their way in order or that they've been unable to, as it were, collate and declare. And so if you're taking the EC's mandate within CI 127 Regulation 42. Regulation 42 reads, and I perhaps have to paraphrase or quote and unquote. Regulation 42 within CI 127 grants the EC a limited scope to stage a rerun, and that can only take place where there is a tie or a parity between two leading contenders. In this very situation, that isn't the case. There was no tie at the Ablekuma North. What there was, rather, was confusion, chaos, and some will argue mismanagement to a large extent on the part of the EC, and that is the reason why perhaps the EC is seen in the way it is seen. Let's look at the background to it again. So January 4, the High Court heard the mandamus application, ordered a recollation, collate all 281 polling stations in the Ablekuma North, including the final 62, and declare a winner. There was no reference to rerunning any poll. And then July 1st, the EC, having met the two parties, decided and announced to us that they were going to stage a rerun. Let me go back to John. Okay. Right. Okay. So I would have to go back to Humu.
Adibakwe Dienya 2024 is a young prophet to join MP Amba. And we need this seat so important. And the Obibia Wofia won't bet you and pay Yabesre. Say P. We MPP Dishan Kwadi appear, never trouble a man on Nekwe free or done number one. So far, no, this is my first place. There be TV3 with you, and I see police will be a ball, journalists back or something. As I say, and I may share social media. No, there's one of the police officers, quite unfortunate. Yabesre, police one more boy. We na baby na police ni catch up so be a chumufu on Casano. I will be na you abotre kwanso said you'll be a better no was here. The empesso be a bear pinting, but be a best beauty. Say Gano be a shay. This is the only seater. Yapri or Crafo. Our year Juma, if you over to me Parliament, Mimic Parliament 2013. 2017, the second term of the tour, upon whom unfortunately, Olusuye, Wasako, Aoba, Obetuan and Juba Palace, and the best say, Omohunu Mobona, in your Dino Kitano, don't you remember, no from the Sum, Ablekuma North. And the Mamusu was up for 7 wise, Mufama Nindi BHD, Namusha, Biboni Bia Bacoso, Moboku de Ru, Obu of your Bonibi, man tentem said ya hanging abe kama ya best police for us ombie money obi bi okobia no yen search no ya make sure biboni bi anyini ho okwa na wakoto utu wi na bako ya bo 4 or 5 na watwe aba na mi gidi ka che bi say na ne ku efiri honorable ni se beka ko dey MPP ehia ko dey papa but me call for national organizer and me bomb do
you think that the decision by the party leadership to stay away from this rerun will affect the chances of your candidate?
We're all here. I don't want to go back. What is important is that Ekwefi is running. The focus and adrenaline must be on her. That we all marshal all our party supporters at home to come and cast the ballot for us. So don't talk about that one. Okay?
Is there any particular measures in place? You people are saying that in the last election, the seat was almost snatched from your hands. Is there any particular measures you've put in place this time around to protect, especially during the coalition?
When I look through the data, basically it's about 6,000 votes, plus or minus. At least it's a working day too. Most people voted will go to work, and they'll be rushing to come from work to come and cast, or some will vote before they go. But plus and minus, I'm expecting a little above 4,000 plus. Unless that would be quite about a little bit 60%.
As you are encouraging all the constituents to come to vote, what will you say to them so that this time around the counting process will be done in a peaceful and serene manner?
What I said earlier in that can is that so long as you are an MPP supporter, it is your duty, it is your right to come and cast this ballot for us. We need this seat because we know how the NDCD operates. You are all here. Some of you are quiet. You are not talking about this LBTGWSYZ. You were so vociferous, so vocal. Everybody. They had opportunity at the UN and they said they abstained. Abstained for what? From the president down to every NDC supporter. The way they attack President Akufo, that he's refusing to sign, even though somebody has taken the matter to the Supreme Court. Today they have the opportunity. And look at how they are dancing around the world. So they need this thing to do all their funny things in Parliament. We need to avoid it. And we need to go and add up to the mighty minority in Parliament. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We've been talking to Mr. Titus Glover, a leading member of the New Patriotic Party. He's been here to offer his support to the NPP candidate Nana Friye Owusu in the rerun for this particular election, Ablekuma North. He believes that no matter what the party hierarchy has decided, this time round, once the candidate has decided to participate in the rerun, every party supporter should come out to give him the maximum support. According to him, this seat is very important to the party because they need to increase their numbers in Parliament to be able to stop some laws that may be forced through the system by the ruling government. And he's encouraging all supporters to come out, that anyone who is at home who has decided to come later or not to come at all, he's encouraging everybody. As well, he's calling on everybody to ensure that this activity is done in a peaceful and serene manner. He's encouraging the media to help to protect the sanctity of this particular election so that this time round, whoever wins will be able to win it legitimately, and the seat will not be taken away from the rightful owner. He believes that the last election was definitely won by the NPP candidates, and this is the time to prove to Ghanaians that really she won the election. So she's encouraging every party supporter, especially NPP, to come out to offer their support, to give their vote to the NPP parliamentary candidate, Nana Owusu Friye, so that she can reclaim the seat for the NPP. We've been speaking to a lot of other party leadership. We spoke to Mr. Bernard Okoboy earlier on, the former health minister, and we'll be monitoring situations here at DVLA Awoshi, Adama Mitu polling station. We'll keep you updated. We'll let you know as and when things happen, and when whatever happens, we'll keep you updated. My name is Humu Abdullahi, GBC News.
Thank you very much, Humu. We're leaving it here. We'll cross over to John, who is on the ground, just as Humu, to catch up with some more stories. John, welcome. Thank you very much for joining again. Right. So I think John is just left. And so I was asking Humu earlier if she gets the impression a texter has just wanted me to respond to, which I'll bring to her at the right time. But let me go back to my earlier recount of how events had taken place. And so from December 7th, we're currently at a rerun on the back of a confusion or disagreement between the two leading candidates, being Nana Owusu Equia Efriye, or Nana Equia Owusu Efriye, and Irabna Obing, who belong to the NPP and NDC respectively. This matter has been to the court, and on January 4th, a court order was issued that EC directed. Let me go back on the phone and engage John. John, thank you very much for joining us once again. What do you have for us from where you are?
Right, so I'm currently at St. People's Church, Tunibua, and the voter turnout really is a challenge now. Voter turnout is very low, one of which the presiding officer, Mr. Nikwe, is saying that he doubts to have even 50% of the 412 voters that are expected to cast their vote at these polling stations. So voter turnout is really the challenge here. But it will shock you to know that when it came with the demographics, the female-male demographic, at this polling station, the males are turning out more than the females to exercise their civic duty. And so we have some 47 males, casting their votes, and then 42 females also casting their votes, making the total vote cast 89 as at 10-26. So by way of what is unfolding, as far as the practical stage is concerned, this is the details. But one of the things I would like to mention also is the fact that there are voters who come here and they don't have votes. They don't have votes because the polling station where they are supposed to vote, that vote has been authenticated by the EC, but they are not aware. So they are turning in here to, in an anticipation to cast their vote, only to be told by the officials that you don't have a vote here. So that has also been the emerging issue as far as voting in these 19 police stations is concerned.
Interesting how there's a seeming struggle to get people to come out and vote. I've also just seen a video gone by with the member for Ablekuma West, the Honorable Reverend Ado, showing up with one of the leading communicators for the NDC in the person of Akogan. What, and if any, how has the presence of such political elements or party elements affected or changed anything on the ground?
Well, I don't see any impact of the presence of these big folks in the party, because the end goal is to have voters come to vote. But if EC officials are telling you that they doubt to have 50% of the total voters that are supposed to report to a particular police station to turn out, then you can be sure that nothing else counts but the fact that voter apathy is still a challenge that we are facing. So while they are here, most of them do not even move. They are, for example, the Bethel church, the Reverend Ado is still there, galvanizing people, ensuring that people come to vote. But I'm telling you that the turnout is not encouraging at all.
Good. John, I haven't only seen Reverend Buama, Reverend Ado, and Akogan. I've also just seen Yamin gone by. What is the situation like relative to the presence of these big wigs within the various political parties? Have you had a situation where you have both NDC, MPP, big wigs on the ground at the same time?
Oh yeah, so at the Bethel Church, we have both parties, present on grounds, and each of them doing their own business and having private discussions, one of which we could not invade, what was happening. But at Bethel Church, we had all the two parties present, where I'll call it delegates from the two parties present, and they're doing what they think would help the process, and there has not been any challenge emerging from such such position.
Right. Being a supposed safe NPP seat, John, do you get a feeling that perhaps there is a certain apprehension in the air on the part of the NPP, given that people are not necessarily turning out to vote?
Well, I didn't get the question clearly, but I think we are still talking about voter party and how the NPP is reacting to it.
Indeed, yes.
All right, so yeah, they did not actually see it as a challenge. They haven't spoken about it as far as those who have engaged are concerned. They haven't spoken about voter apathy. It's not a challenge to them as far as talking about issues that are present to you is concerned. But undisputably, voter apathy is something that is cannot be denied, and it can affect all the two parties, really.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, John. We'll leave it here, and we'll come back to you when necessary. Once again, that's just gone as John Guama coming to us from the Bethel Baptist Church in Odoko, where some 464 voters are expected to vote, and since polls open at 7 a.m., he mentions there's been only between 70 and 96 persons who's been there to cast their votes, and of the number, there seem to be more men rising up to the occasion than women showing up to vote. In a few minutes, I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, my colleague George Nidonu Sapo and the team will take over and carry on until there's some news on the ground to go to. In the meantime, let me give you a quick recount of the number of voter polling stations within the Ablekuma North constituency before I rise on this for that break. God First International School, the Akuman 1, Pentecost Church, Mount Zion Assembly, Kwashiman, DVLA offices, Awoshin, Adamami 2, Asiedu Jedu Memorial School, Awoshin, Living Spring Day Nursery, Kwashi Bu, the Lord's Pentecostal Church, Kwashi Bu, Presby Church, Odoko 4, the Church of Pentecost North Odoko 2, the Church of Pentecost North Odoko 4, Methodist Church Odoko 1, St. John the Baptist Catholic Church, Odoko 1, Radiant Way Preparatory School, North Odoko 2, Atiko School Complex, Odoko, South Odoko 4 and 5 schools, Odoko 3, the Church of Pentecost, Cheneboa 2, Light of Gospel Miracle Church, Light of Gospel Miracle Church, that's in Cheneboa 2, and the MTTD Odoko Divisional Station, Odoko, and Roman Catholic Church, Busia Junction, Odoko 1, and finally the Bethel Baptist Church, Sakama 1. And on this note, I'll take a break here. And my name, as always, is Darrell Alan Tego. Thank you very much for joining us on GBC News. Keep watching GBC News. I'll join you back shortly.
I don't like so you will share the life. That's all.
The next president, 1 year. Show down. That's good, what's my number one? Booze them, show down. Ghana's next president, on 1 year. Someone who can now, 1 year.
Our president wants to be
No can, no vote, on 1 year. They ain't coming. They ain't coming. Mami brother na cameraman hu nya. Mo mami brother cameraman hu nya. Ai. Which has been coordinated. Okay. Now. Leader. You official Maleng give the people. How you doing? Sharp. Very glad how you are from that. Man, George. What an echo game in our boy. John, master, What the boko wo kudu sino boko wo. Okay. Boko wo kudu sino kasa. What is that say? What's the friend? Me friend. Why me friend?
Are you connected? I am connected. Ebusian for one video na nature go no efe na kono ye pa. Ya papa compare akode we e kire se Ghana ha de sisi a ono e na waje akonwa na wotim. What you say? Obia ehu na that say oh heli ni say ya. Obia a compare kunio. No can, no vote. Ebusian share the link, share link no. Everybody no be so enfam obi na ka kire obi say we have a TV and ya ba live na ya di Ablekuma not so the echo ho nyane so eba be somum NPP om swanhod no na so na ya ba to echo so yin so no oma for emma meto enwanwa na wo bi aka NPP fo enimu say wo kwa parliament asisi e de nka mo form numbers ni swa mo ye ya ba mo je sam kwa de mo ye ketwa kra etika this is the time I want to mutimi go in numbers na ka mo ko vote e de ma mo party but you see as a party no say the amount for air cast party no wu kodo ton eya no kra because voting we ya kire say enyema enko ye kra one pp amanyo konim we enye anisade hu anase we enye bibi fama mpanifom di party ne hu ne say nyema omo ye no echia ema party members no amo kasa enya gide bia ewo mpanifo ni mu bio omo ni odo bia enfama party ni bio eti ni nyina no ebegina ye papa akompra kwa Agyapong so wonu pe eni nipa otimbeli di party na odona man for war edema NPP no ebesa so a resurrecting abusia ya pa compare ko do be pie wo Ghana ha dia ono ane number 1 on the next president of the state umpo. Are you connected? I am connected. Abusia ya kwani akwa hwe dia egusu AC ewo Ablekuma not enfamra.
All right, that's one of the things you get to go through when you're live reporting from location, and we'll get our technicians on the ground with Humu to try and sort out her microphones for us. I was telling you about the voter population registered at the Ablekuma North constituency, and out of that 121,000, where only 6,000 are going to vote across the 19 designated polling stations. Historically, that constituency has been a safe seat for the NPP. The NDC has never won that seat since 1992. Even at a time when the NPP boycotted the elections, it was assumed that somehow it was still within the grasp of the NPP. And so in 1996, the NPP polled 61% of total valid votes cast, and in 2000, it upped it a bit to 69% of the total valid votes cast. In 2004, this dropped significantly to 49%, and the NDC, it is safe to assume that given that it dropped, they may have taken it away, and so that is a safe assumption. What we can say also, let me take you down to Ablekuma North, where our correspondent is at the Methodist polling station, where he joins us with some news. Good morning. Thank you very much, Pat.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm currently at the Methodist Church Odoko 1 polling station.
Okay.
The polling station number is C161012A. And I spoke to the presiding officer, and she told me that 464 voters expected to vote or on the registered ballots, the registered paper that they have. Okay. And also, I spoke to the security chief here. He told me that over 50 policemen have been currently deployed here. This particular polling station comprises 2 polling stations. Actually, there are supposed to be 2 polling stations here, but then they are only using one because of the nature of the situation here at the moment. So they are only using one polling station. They told me that they also have only 475 ballots, just in case some false ballots they will be replaced with the ones that are there. So, and also, after the time we spoke to the presiding officer, he told us that 5 people have voted so far. So approximately about 30 people, from my estimation, about 30 voters have now voted. So that is the situation on the ground at the Methodist Church Odoko 1 polling station.
All right, thank you very much. But you mentioned we have a total number of voters at this polling station standing at 464. Is that correct?
Yes, 464.
464. And do we know if polls opened at exactly 7 a.m.?
Yes, the polls were open at exactly 7 a.m.
Right.
Yes.
And so between about an hour and 25 minutes gone since polls opened, and we have how many people cast their votes already? 25?
Yes, after the time we interviewed the presiding officer, we were told that 25 people had voted. But from my estimation, I've seen a couple of voters trooping in. Okay. And in my estimation, it would be about 30 at the moment. Right. I don't really have the current figure at the moment. Approximately 30 voters have now come into exercise their franchise. Right.
Looking at voter behavior and voting activities currently ongoing, what impressions do you get relative to what the atmosphere would be like, say, in the next few hours?
So from what I'm seeing, I think people are still coming in to vote. Even though when we came initially, the place was quite empty, but it looks like people are now coming in. The policemen keep trooping in, and the general peace and calm at the moment. Everything is going on well. They are keeping the place in check. The peace, as the security personnel are keeping the place in check. And I mean, there's peace and calm here at the moment.
Right.
However, I just got the information that some voters came to vote, but then they were told that their names have not been seen in the register, and that's the confusion that has been noticed at the moment. They came to vote, they checked the register, and they were told that their names are not in the register, and they are confused because to them, in the December 2024 elections, this was where they voted, and their names were registered here. They voted, so they don't understand why they can't find their names in the voters register at the moment. So that is the situation at the moment, the information I'm getting currently.
Right. This will be worth following up on, especially to ascertain why someone voted at that very polling station at the last election, and today they're unable to vote there. Do you also get the impression that perhaps voters are a bit hesitant to come out and vote because they're not sure what the day, how the day will go like?
Yes, I think so. I don't know, but I feel that with the large number of police personnel here, there could be the possibility that people are even intimidated to come here. In fact, I was asking one person that why are there so many policemen here? Is this place a hotspot? But then I wasn't really given the relevant information to that. But from what I'm seeing, I think that people are just trying to look around and see if maybe there might be some, they might be compelled to come and vote. At the moment, just come in you see one person coming, two people, but then it's not in the rush like you would have seen or would have expected like it was in the December 2024 elections. So they just troop in once in a while, and I believe that they would come eventually, but at the moment, probably they might have gone to work and other places, but from what I've seen, I think that they might come eventually later in the course of the day.
Right.
They would come in and vote.
Right. Is this schedule? First of all, let me find out this. What's the political party behavior or activity within the constituency at the moment like? Do you have some of the aspirants or contenders showing up where you are, or their supporters gathering in areas where, let's say, it would kind of influence a certain voter behavior?
Well, I've seen some party agents around, but they are just monitoring the situation. They are just far off from even where the polling agents are or the electoral officials are. They are just monitoring everything. I also inquired about the polling station where the NDC candidate would vote, but I'm told that there's nowhere she's going to vote, as a matter of fact. So we are trying to find out where she might be at the moment. We'll get you that information later when we find out where she is. Maybe you might want to get the word or two from her when we get a chance. But at the moment, the party agents or the political party representatives around here are just around, they are just monitoring the situation. They've not seen any form of scaffold or confusion anywhere. They are just keeping everything in check.
Right.
I think when it got to the point where people were saying that they weren't seeing their names in the voters ID card, they had to go and confront the officials, asking them questions, make inquiries. But then I think there had been some clarifications to them. They are still hanging around to see if maybe it will be possible for them to be given a chance to vote. For them, they don't know where they are going to be voting if their names are not here.
Right.
So I think the party agents are still making sure that they can get their people to vote, those who were not able to find their names in the register.
Right. Cadmiel, just before I let you go, news has it that there are some party elements, especially the parliamentarians within the both parties, present on the ground and knocking on doors, calling people to come out and vote. Can you confirm or have you cited any of these political or party persons from Parliament, especially on the ground?
No, at the moment, I've not seen them campaigning or doing any door-to-door campaign at the moment. The only thing I see is people are in their neutral attire. No one is wearing any party paraphernalia. So, I mean, they are just trying to comply with the regulations. That is not to show any political affiliation on the day of election. So, everybody is complying with that directive. They are not wearing any party colors or T-shirts or anything of that sort. But for them going out to call on people to come and vote, I've not seen anyone yet. Actually, I've been stationed here. I've been going out once in a while to check around to see what's happening there, but I've not really seen people do any form of door-to-door campaign at the moment.
Right.
People are just coming in once in a while to vote. That's all I'm seeing here at the moment.
Okay, Cadmiel, I'll let you go for now, and we'll come back to you. But by all means, immediately let us know if you pick up anything or any news that's worthy for the Ghanaian population. Thank you so very much for coming through to us this morning with that brilliant report on the situation at the polling station where you are. Remember, polls are taking place at only 19 polling stations, and these are the polling station identities. The first is God First International School, Dakuman 1, Pentecost Church, Mount Zion Assembly, Kwashima. DVLA offices, Awoshi, Adamami, number 2. And then you have Asiedu Jedu Memorial School, Awoshi, and that's 1. And then we also have Living Spring Day Nursery, that's located at Kwashibu. You have Presby Church, Odoko 4. Church of Pentecost North Odoko 2, Church of Pentecost North Odoko 4, and then you have Methodist Church Odoko 1, St. John the Baptist Catholic Church Odoko 1, and then Radiant Way Preparatory School North Odoko, and then Atiko School Complex or Atiko School Complex Odoko, South Odoko 4 and 5 schools, Pentecost Church Triniboa, and then Light of Gospel Miracle Church, MTTD Odoko Divisional Station, and Roman Catholic Church, Busia Junction, Odoko, and then Bethel Baptist Church, Odoko. I was telling you earlier what the voter pattern had been from 1996. And it would interest you to note that the NDC or no other party has been able to take the seat, this particular seat, the Ablekuma North seat. It has safely been the seat for the NPP, to the extent that at one point, the daughter of Kwame Nabatel, the former MP for that constituency, successfully also took the seat, and she, before taking that seat, internally took out Nana Ekuya Efriye, who has come back, and she calls her comeback the golden comeback. And currently, she's head-to-head with a Rabna Orbin. And it will interest you to note that these are two women. When you see them on the ground, what you see is sisterly battle, and it is nothing to worry about, really. Let's go back to Humu, our correspondent, to bring us some more on the ground.
I was there, and one inspector, I don't know whether he's an ASP or anything, he came to our building to look at something. He said, no, we are all watchmen here, and we are watching whatever we do. He just came and forced me to move out from there. I said, no, I can't go. Then he slapped me. It took another officer came to separate both of us. So we have to leave the premises. And that's what happened.
What happened to your cheek? I can see that
that is the hands of the officer. The hands of the officer who slapped me in the face.
Why did you say anything?
I have not done anything wrong. I have not done anything wrong to anybody. I was sitting there quietly. I have not approached anybody. We are all watchmen in this country, and we came here for a purpose. You understand? So if anything has happened, at least talk to me very nicely. You asked me to go out. I said, no, I can't go out. He just came and hold me, pushing me to go. I said, I can't go. And he slapped me in the face. I have witnesses here. I have the witness. He slapped me in the face. That's the answer. He slapped me in the face. I've not done anything wrong to you. And this issue will go far. I'm telling you. I don't do that. I don't do that.
Are you going to report this issue to them?
Yes. Roughly by Monday coming, I'm going to the command to report this issue to the commander.
Will you be able to inform leadership say? Because right now you're a journalist, you are representing an association.
Mr. Jumbo is a friend of mine, and I will make sure from here I will write a report to his office to make sure he will respond to the issue. Because for now, I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand what's going on here. The man has taken side. For me, that's my opinion. The man has taken side, and the way he just approached me, asking me to go out from the premises. I don't listen to it. There are almost about things that have inside there. He didn't approach me, but me. We have about 3 years inside the premises. He didn't approach anybody, but me. So why that?
This electoral process is part of our democratic process. Tell us, what does this mean? I mean, if a journalist is trying to do his job and he's being prevented to the point of abuse, what do you think it means for our press freedom in Ghana here?
We don't really have press freedom because it's the police. The previous IGP Dampari told us that the press will have freedom. Or I'm lying. And why this time? Why this time? Why this time? So do we have freedom as pressmen? No, we don't have it. If we have freedom, allow a layman to beat me, not a police officer. Allow a layman to beat me, Banaheni, not an officer. Who knows the law? Who knows what I do for a living? Allow a layman to beat me in the face. But why a police officer to beat me? For no reason. He don't have any reason at all. So please, by Monday, and tell them what is happening here.
Thank you very much. So, basically, we are still here at Pentecost Church, here exactly at North Odoko. We've been here since morning trying to monitor elections, the rerun of the elections in this particular constituency. One thing we realized when we came here is there have been a lot of policemen. We don't know how come. I mean, this is such a small place, but it looks like there are a lot of policemen. If I can even exaggerate, there are probably more policemen than even the voters who are here to vote. And right now, we just spoke to one of our colleagues, and I need you could see a scar on one side of his cheek, and he thinks it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate incident that at this time that we are trying to improve our press freedom, journalists will be prevented from doing so at this particular rerun. I mean, this is a major election. This election will determine who becomes journalists are prevented from doing his job. What does it mean? What does it mean for our democratic? What does it mean for our fight for press freedom? There are a lot of policemen here. At this point, I don't know.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us. You're watching GBC News, and this is our live coverage of the rerun of the 19 polling stations within the Ablekuma North constituency. That just gone was a report of assault by a police officer, unconfirmed, even though we have seen a complainant speaking to Kamra Banahini, one of our own, a journalist on the ground, has been assaulted, and he's shown evidence of that to camera. And so, Humu, by all means, be safe while you are on the ground and stay clear from trouble. We also saw Jefferson Kwame Nasaki, the NPP parliamentary candidate at the last election for the Ablekuma Central constituency, arriving there in the midst of that crowd and obviously being ushered in. Let's cross over to Sakama, where John Boama, our correspondent, is on the ground and has come through with a report for us. John, if you can hear me, welcome. Thank you very much for coming through. Right, so while we wait for John, just gone before I introduced John, our correspondent Humu on the ground brought us report at the Church of Pentecost North Odoko. Church of Pentecost North Odoko has 2 polling stations, different identities though. C161006 and 6161-008, both North Odoko Church of Pentecost 2 and 4 were unclear where this assault has taken place. But we will eventually find that out when we're able to reconnect with Humu, who is on the ground. We also went to Catmill, who gave us some brilliant information from his end of the Ablekuma North constituency, where he's told us calm and peace prevailing as compared to where we've just come from. It appears there are 2 different positions. Let's go back and see if this time round we will be able to reconnect with John. John, good morning. Welcome to GBC News. What do you have for us?
Good morning and thank you. I can hear you, please.
Sure. Let's hear you. What do you have for us? What does it look like where you are?
Right. So the atmosphere here at Sakaman, precisely Bethel Baptist Church, is the calm one with tight security. About 17 police have been deployed to this particular police station. So the atmosphere here is a calm one. Voting is going on smoothly, no distraction since polls started 7 a.m. And at this polling station, some 429 voters are expected to cast their votes. And I'm going to, from the last check I made, only 13 had been able to, cast their ballots. But I'm standing just beside the presiding officer, Madam Shadia Salifu, who I will engage briefly to give us the current update. So, Madam, good morning. You are live on GTV GBC. Now, can you share with us how the process, your general impression of the process so far?
So far, I can't say anything. The place is very cool, and they are trooping in one after the other at the moment. So the place is very quiet. It's not like it's chaos.
And currently, can you share with us how many voters have cast their ballots?
So far, 35.
Right now, we can see that about 17 police personnel have been deployed to these police stations. Does that, make you safe to discharge your duty?
Yes, it's safe, but in nutshell, you have to protect yourself. Even though there is security, you have to also protect yourself and your assistants as well. But we are safe.
All right. Anything you would like voters to take note of as the process unfolds?
Since most of the voters are not conversant with the particular police station, so the other police stations are all trooping in to come and vote. So we are just assisting them. If you come and your voter ID number doesn't match, we just tell you that you are not part of it. That's all.
Right, so that is Madam Shadia Salifu. She's the presiding officer for the Bethel Baptist Church police station here in Sakaman. and I have been engaging with some of the voters to understand what really is driving their voting decisions, most of which are voting for the fact that they want, their wards to go to school without paying fees. But one of the things that I've picked is that there has not been enough education as to what the policies are as far as education is concerned and how they stand to benefit. They are saying that when the NPP parliamentary candidate comes to power, they believe that she is going to ensure that their wards who are home and do not pay their fees are able to go to school and pay their fees, which is not the case. So there's a letter of there's a need for educating these folks to understand or to carry them along as far as what is happening in national politics is concerned. But I've been able to speak to different demographics, the aged, the young, and then the middle age, and the interest varies. Most of the young folks at this police station, Bethel Baptist Church in Sakaman, are voting for the fact that they want job, and they have been grading the performance of the current government. Now, their grading of the government of the current government is a good one, and this one is just buttress what pollsters have been saying before this process began. They say that the performance of JM administration is a good one. They also say that the economy is going in a good direction, and they're also saying that they are hopeful and they are optimistic that within this administration, although I've engaged a youth who is unemployed, he believes that although he has not been employed yet, he believes that from the way things are going, he can get employed in this administration. And so these are the little things that are driving people's decision as far as voting is concerned.
Very brilliant report. But before you go, can you confirm you have 429 total voters expected to cast their vote where you are?
That's correct. 429 voters are expected to cast their ballot at this polling station.
Right, and polls opened at 7, and so at 8:46, when you first came on air, you can also confirm you've only had 35 persons cast their vote already.
Yeah, so as early as 8:40, there were only 13 voters who exercised their civic responsibility.
Okay.
But as I speak to you now, one person just came in, so 49 have cast their ballot as I speak to you now.
Right. You mentioned where you are is relatively calm. Do you get the impression that people are hesitant to come out and vote?
Well, voter apathy is one of the challenges that has plagued, several police stations, and this police station is not different. I engaged, I was speaking to the Ablekuma West, Member of Parliament, Mr. Reverend Sekwadu, getting what the party has been doing as far as voter apathy is concerned. And he says that voter apathy is not something that they've disputed, but they've taken a move, a door-to-door, campaign to galvanize the people, move them from their homes and to come and cast their ballot. So that's what they've done. But as to whether that is going to be effective, we can only tell at the end of polls.
Before I let you go, what does security where you are look like? We have just come from the Church of Pentecost North Odoko, and there seemed to be some confusion. Do you have a similar thing where you are?
Interestingly, the first thing I found out when I came here was the trust the Electoral Commission officials have in the security that they've been provided, and I was happy to hear that they are confident that the security that they have here is one that they trust, that nothing will intimidate them to act in any way, but they can discharge their duty a fair and in a just way without intimidation that anybody wants in to do them anything.
Right.
So that duty here, if I should tell you honestly, is a tight one. The atmosphere here is a calm one. Everything is going smoothly, like Madam said, the presiding officer said. Everything is going smoothly, no disruption, no controversy, no arguments. Everything is smooth here.
Right. Thank you very much, John. We'll have to leave it here. We'll come back to you. And if you spot anything that needs to be out there as well, kindly reconnect and we'll come back to you. Thank you very much. That just gone as our correspondent on the ground, John Guama, reporting from the Bethel Baptist Church polling station, where he reports that there is calm, there's a presence of police personnel who are maintaining the peace, and he spoke to the presiding officer at that station, being Madame Salifu, whose also voice we heard not too long ago, confirming what John had told us. We will shortly be going on the telephone to speak to Richard Kumado, a security analyst, whose thoughts we're going to sample on what his impressions or what his reflections over the past elections and what we're going through currently, and what the likely outcome will be going forward as far as these two candidates are concerned. If we have Richard on the phone, let me quickly welcome Richard Kumado. Good morning and welcome to GBC News.
Thank you.
First of all, how will you describe this whole process from December 7th to where we are currently?
I think it was chaotic, and it was chaotic as a result of the ineptitude and negative attitude of the Electoral Commission commissioners. Today, a whole lot of people are criticizing them and are saying they are incompetent and they shouldn't be in their positions. Because over the years, or if you remember when we started a limited registration in this country, a lot of errors, a lot of inconsistencies, and a lot of inaccuracies. That is what has gotten us to where we are now. Finally, we are here to run elections at the 19 police stations. We are only praying and hoping that Electoral Commission will discharge their duties while the police is there to provide a protective cover with the support of the political party. So this is where we are, and we are here because the Electoral Commissioners seem not to know what they are doing, and they keep on changing the goalposts right from the day when we started the limited registration process in this country.
Interesting. Do you have any, perhaps, do you envisage any issues relative to security within the constituency, given that perhaps you are blaming the EC for not doing their job?
Elections are conducted by the EC, mandated by Constitution. Every election has a law which we call the CI. The CI does three things. One, it defines the election processes. And number two, it outlines the procedure. And number three, it provides a remedy where there are discrepancies. If you look at the electoral process we have in this country, it's a so simple one that we should not be having the difficulties we are having. You remember the CI we went to the election with, the electoral commissioner last minute to the election introduced two controls. One, they said they will have electronic coalition of the results, meaning that they will send people to the constituency coalition centers to electronically collate the results before the manual process starts. Number two, they said they are going to paste the pink sheet by a pole, whether a coconut tree or electric pole, closer to the police stations. Why then do we finish election and the political parties said they don't have a pink sheet, and the electoral commission said they don't have a pink sheet, and you are saying that people should use a scanned copy? Where did they get a scanned copies from? Between NDC and MPP, where did they get a scanned copies from? Is it not the original one election officers did them? So you could see electoral commission set up the nation and created a lot of public safety challenges for this country. Then they want to turn back and say there have been issues of insecurity. Electoral commission must always do number one, while the police do number two. If they don't do number one, the police cannot do number two. And that is where we are, right from the 2020 election. When the results were changing almost every second, it wasn't coming from the police database, it was coming from the Electoral Commission. And so that is why they must accept their responsibilities and make sure that the 19 constituency police stations we are talking about, the delays have been stopped and the processes have taken place and everything go according to plan. We have been to the police stations. I have visited about 16 at 3 a.m. And I can tell you, the police were there. They were willing and able to do the job, waiting for the Electoral Commission to do their number one. So that is where we are.
That indeed the EC is supposed to be the one who plans and stages elections, manages and also declare at the end of it. But the entire activity isn't one that is solely the responsibility of the EC. Citizens as well as political parties have their own responsibilities and roles to play.
There's a noise at your background. Can you ask the question again?
The question is, can we hold the EC solely accountable for a case that is described broadly as isolated Ablekuma North?
Definitely yes. They are mandated to conduct election. Conducting of election means that you go through the initial process and you declare results. And the results will have to be as accurate as possible per the standards we set up ourselves in this country that will run a democracy. And you remember, to enhance your democracy and to enhance your governance, elections are one of them. And the accuracy and the objective and the transparent nature of the election determine how you choose your leaders. If we keep on getting it wrong, we might be setting up ourselves for distraction, which we don't want. So, Electoral Commission has the highest responsibility of discharging their duties.
Hopefully, all things being equal, the EC will stand up to be counted at today's 19 polling station elections. What we cannot say, though, is where it will go. Given what we know about Ablekuma North being a safe seat for the MPP, do you get the impression the people will retain or bring back Ekuafriye?
I don't know why there's noise at your background, but if I understand your question properly, yeah, it seems to be their stronghold,
yes.
But the numbers have dwindled. But the total number they have now, I think they are leading with just about 48 votes. But you are looking at 19 police stations with a total vote cast today, if all go well, with about over 6,000.
Yes.
And so 48 is just a minute number. Whether NDC wins or MPP wins, what you want is that the process has to be transparent, it has to be accurate, and it has to be objective. And the police must provide a protective cover, while the process is taken care by the election officer, which includes the political party agent. One of the difficulties we have is a lot of discrepancies and distortions. And normally that happens at the close of polls. So even though we must start smoothly, we are going straight out to close of polls, which is 5 p.m., where you look out for where there's a coalition and sorting and tabulation and counting, discrepancies, duplications, and distortions. If the Electoral Commission can sort out those ones, while the police provide a protective cover, they will be able to pull it off.
And so, given what you've just said, are you expecting the NPP once again to go home with a bloody nose?
No, it depends on the voter turnout. If people do not turn out, it's going to affect the NPP, because the onus is on them to win, predominantly to increase their numbers in parliament, because Kumi Akotia has just died, and there's likely to be by-election in Akotia. So if they lose this election at Ablekuma North, then their numbers will further go down, and the NDC is going to have a lot more numbers and to bully them in parliament. And that also goes back to the discrepancies in communications, that they are not going for the election, they are going for the election. And it created a whole lot of problems where the national party said we are not going and the candidate said we are going. If you look at the money that has gone into these 19 police stations and the expected number of all manner of persons to hang around there, then I'm encouraging my uncle to ensure that anybody who crosses the red line is sorted, and the police will have to be swift as possible. But the honors is for the MPP to mobilize people out to come out and vote. For the NDC, if they win, that's a good news. If they don't win, they know it's not their stronghold.
talking about the police and having to be swift, we're already hearing some altercation between the police and a journalist who's been assaulted by a police officer, he claims. What is your measure of what the situation is likely to be relative to maintaining peace and order insofar as the police and election is concerned?
Safety of voters is number one. Security of election officers is number two. And number three is to ensure that we have compliance from beginning to the end. Nobody is above the law. The police will have to be strict. They will have to be aggressive. And they have to take the bull by the horn, irrespective of whoever you are. There are standard procedures we have to follow. And the police issued a statement yesterday. Anyone who flouts the law, the police must bring them to book. That is the only way you serve a deterrence to other people. Because Ablekuma North is a very hot spot for the police when it comes to elections. Out of the 19 police stations we are talking about, there are about 3 of them that are very stubborn for all elections. And the police are very aware. And we ask those who are going to vote to form lines to act orderly and let peace prevail for once in this country.
Finally, before I let you go, Richard, interesting, but what will be the effect of parliamentarians who are not known or affiliated to Ablekuma North in any way and showing up this morning and speaking to people on the ground? What will be the effect of that as far as security is concerned and maintaining order?
Maintaining law and order is important. Parliamentarians and politicians, whoever they are, they have the right to go from police station to other, from one police station to the other, but they must act orderly. They must behave themselves. They must act as people who have brains in their heads. This is not a civil war, it's an election. If they go flouting the law, I expect the police to deal with them as swiftly, as professionally as possible. And that is the only way we can send a signal that we are a country that is governed by a rule of law. And accountability is number one.
Right. Thank you so very much, Richard Kumado, a security expert and a security analyst who's just come through and sharing his thoughts and views on some of the events currently unfolding on the ground at the Ablekuma North constituency, where some 19 polling stations and some 6,000 electorates are expected to cast their ballots to finally nominate or elect a representative either of the NDC or of the NPP to represent them in Parliament. We all conclusively agree that that particular seat is a safe seat for the NPP, and they have won it the most since 1996. Interestingly, we are seeing some politicians from different constituencies or neighboring constituencies showing up this morning at the constituency to lend their support and their weight or throw their weight behind their representative, their party representative. Interesting once again is the fact that at the very beginning, the opposition MPP decided that it was not going to take part in this process. However, at the last minute, we also picked word that the candidate, although the party has taken a position not to participate, the candidate says, no, my people, my constituency needs a representative, and I am going to be there for them. We've heard her also speak to that effect, that even though the party has taken a position, her view is slightly different from that of the party, and that she represents the people, and the people want her to be in the race, and so she is fully participating. Our correspondents are still on the ground, and we'll be crossing over to some of them shortly and to bring you some more on that. But I mentioned earlier that Ablekuma North has a history of maintaining or keeping the NPP to the extent that at one point it became one of a father and a daughter interchangeable thing, where Nana Ekuya Efriye took over from the Honorable Kwame Bartels. And then after one term, the daughter of the Honorable Kwame Bartels, Sheila Bartels, unseated her internally and became the parliamentary candidate for the constituency. Ekuya Efriye staged a comeback within the NPP and eventually got the nod to send Sheila Bartels packing. And then she came to face Irabina Obing, who gave her a good run for her money within the constituency. Unfortunately, the outcome was a bit controversial. It was contended because the EC, everybody would say, could not necessarily produce what the final outcome would be. And so at one point, Irabna Obing was declared the winner. It was challenged in court, and then Justice Ban Forsin told the Electoral Commission to go back to the constituency, collate the 36 outstanding, and then 60 outstanding, and then make sure that it has been declared. The EC went back, did the collation, but there was controversy once again over 19. And that 19 is why the rerun is today ongoing at the Ablekuma North constituency. It will interest you to note that the EC, working with its own internal document, would have otherwise not go for a rerun, because after all, the CI 127, which allows the EC or mandates the EC to run an election, has only one clause within it which allows for a rerun, and that would be when or if there is a tie. In this case, there wasn't a tie. And that is why some interest parties are claiming the EC is bending to allow some or to favor some candidates. It's interesting to note all of this happening as a result of the EC's inability to finally produce a pink sheet to say this is our master collation, and that is what we're going by. We're still on the ground, and let me bring you some more. So in 2024, the NPP, who pulled 49% of total valid votes cast, had that changed, quickly shooting up to 58% in 2008, I beg your pardon. And then in 2012, again increased it by 2% from 58% to 60%. It maintained that steady climb. In 2016, it polled 67% of the total valid votes cast. And then in 2020, dropped slightly by some 3 percentage points to 20. In 2020, did 64%. Let me go on the telephone lines once again and speak to Dr. Edu Jemfi, who is a political scientist, and let's pick what his thoughts are so far as Ablekuma North is concerned. Good morning, Dr. Edu Jemfi, and thank you very much for your time. Dr. Edu Jemfi, good morning. Right, okay, I think we don't fully have his ears yet. Let's give it one more push and see what becomes of it. Good morning, Dr. Edu Jemfi, if you can hear me. Dr. Edu Jemfi can't hear me. And so let me give you a recap of the 19 polling stations currently active and receiving voters at the Ablekuma North constituency. Number 1 is Godfirst International School. That's based at Dakuma, or based in Dakuma. We have Pentecost Mount Zion Assembly, Church of Pentecost Mount Zion Assembly, also in Kwashima. DVLA's offices around Awoshi Adamami is also a polling station. And then Asiedu Jedu Memorial School, Awoshi, is a polling station or polling center. Living Spring Day Nursery, Kwashibu, Kwashibu is also one. The Lord's Pentecostal Church, Kwashibu, Presby Church, Odoko, and Church of Pentecost North, Odoko. Another Church of Pentecost North, Odoko, identified by 2 and 4 with different identities. Methodist Church, Odoko 1. And then you have St. John the Baptist Catholic Church, also based at Odoko. Radiant Way Preparatory School is around North Odoko. And then Atiko School Complex, also around Odoko. South Odoko 4 and 5 schools, Odoko. And then Church of Pentecost, Chinibua, is also another polling station. Light of Gospel Miracle Church. Light of Gospel Miracle Church is one of the voting or polling stations. And then the Odoko MTTD divisional station is one as well. You have Roman Catholic Church, Busia Junction, Odoko, that's also a polling center, and then Bethel Baptist Church, where John Guama reported from not too long ago. Let's see if we have Doctor back with us. Thank you very much, Doctor. This is GBC News. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, I think we're having a difficulty getting through to Doctor. Okay, so let me go back and do this. And so Ablekuma North, 19 polling stations are currently going through the polls to get some results in order to get a representative to represent them in Parliament. Interesting, at the 2016 elections, we saw a shoot up in voter percentage for the NPP. Between 2012 and 2020, the NPP increased their votes by 7 percentage points and also decreased it by 3 percentage points on average. And in those elections, we had Ikuya Efriye, who is staging a comeback at the moment, who had the 67%, and then we also had Sheila Bartels, who unseated Ikuya Efriye in 2020, pulling 64%. I'll be going on the phone shortly to speak to Professor Samuel Edu, Department of History and Political Sciences at the KNUST, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He will be joining us very shortly to discuss the elections as currently ongoing at the Ablekuma North constituency. It's a constituency within the Greater Accra region which borders Ablekuma Central, also borders parts of the Okankoi constituencies, as well as the Ablekuma. It borders Ablekuma Central, Ablekuma West, Okankoi North, Okankoi Central, Okankoi South, Anya Soutuom, and Weja Gbawe constituencies. And so this undoubtedly is in the heart of the Greater Accra region. And so it's really a very urban constituency. It's been represented by the MPP in Parliament since 1996. That has never changed. Interestingly, the NDC is giving that a steep chase in order to take the seat as part of their seats at the last election. And at the last election, the NDC, which holds the majority in Parliament, has over 180 MPs. We're going on the telephone lines to speak to Professor Samuel Edu, at the Department of History and Political Sciences or Studies at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Good morning, Prof. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, my brother. Thanks for having me.
First of all, Prof, what will be your reading?
Before we zoom into it, can I get part of the intro? Mine is Samuel Edu Jemfi. Right.
Samuel Edu Jemfi.
So
oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. Thank you very much for the correction, Prof. What will be your reading of events or activities from the last election, December 7th, to what we currently are going through at the Ablekuma North constituency?
We can have a lot of reasoning around what we've seen so far. I think on the first leg, we need to reflect on ultimate responsibility. In my mind, I think that the Electoral Commission, and for that matter, the returning officer and all those agents and actors of the commission ought to have had complete documentation with respect to the election, the counting process, the recording and all that. And in that regard, it should have had the opportunity in the presence of the law governing their practices to be able to make a declaration as to who won the elections within the period under review. Its inability to have done that within the period under review requires good people of Ghana and individuals who are interested in electoral reform, first of all, to look at potential judicial processes that will lead to such individuals who slept on their job and not provide the appropriate, if you like, documentation to rather declare the election or to declare the winner, irrespective of the posture and the position of the MPP or the NDC. Their inability to do that or to have done that fundamentally shows that the Electoral Commission, the Commission's agents in Ablekuma North went to sleep. It's as simple as that. Having said that, we need to appreciate the fact that free and fair election does not mean that we have a perfect election. The processes having been set in place can be bedeviled with many, not only institutional challenges, but also procedural challenges and challenges within the course of the election. And so when some of these things come up, it is important that due processes are put in place to resolve same. And around this time, part of the strategy I believe the Electoral Commission sought to use was to engage the two political parties, which they have done historically in our electoral reforms, that power would not only emanate from the top, but also the political party whose interest would, vehemently or vociferously be put across within meetings with the Electoral Commission ahead and sampled, and some kind of consensus building is put into perspective to allow for a true reflection of what would be satisfying to the NPP, the NDC, and the other smaller parties, and that can dovetail into the collective good or the interest of the state. So once we've had these things happen, even in the course of time, the only glitch we would see is with the fact that at one point the Deputy Commissioner was saying that it is only 3 that is in doubt or in question, and therefore it was easy to come by some final arrangement, except that we are told, following up to that some 19 polling stations were that which were in question and had to be rerun. The NPP's own interest here was to accuse the Electoral Commission and to better still attempt to discolor the face of the NDC being in power. But what is fundamental is that the process is being held today. The good people of Ablekuma North would have the privilege, I'm sure, by the close of the day or by tomorrow, to know who is their parliamentarian who will be representing the teeming masses of that constituency to serve their cause, their interest, and the cause of Mother Ghana. For me, that should be the greatest cause we should be aspiring to by the close of the day.
Okay, thank you, Professor Edujemfi. But do you agree with those who argue that a rerunning of these polling stations is a contradiction of a court order, the court order of January 4th by Justice Forcing Agyapong, who directed the EC or ordered the EC to go and collate and declare, and the EC not having gone back to the court pursuant to regulations 42 of CI 127, therefore cannot hold such an election?
It is very interesting to reflect on the legal regime on this matter. It is also important to ask ourselves, did the EC do anything in the course of time to see gaps in this ruling of the court?
among other things, if the court says that they should go out there to do their job and to declare the winner, so be it. So I agree with you in Tutu that if they've had a glitch in the process of collating and having the results to the extent of making a declaration, it is proper, right, in that respect, to go back to the court of competent jurisdiction to present a case insofar as this matter is concerned, to say that you are unable to proceed to make a declaration because of the challenges you are faced with. But that in itself also reinforced my position earlier. The fact that there is a certain ultimate responsibility that must be, if you like, held or carried by certain actors. The chief, of course, is the returning officer in that constituency. His officers who played a role to this great bottleneck, right, and to have caused such confusion in the heart and mind of the Ablekuma North constituents, right? So, again, I am sure in the foreseeable future, that, like I said earlier, the good people of Ghana may have to go to court to test some of these things and to ensure that others will face the music, will face the rules and the laws of this country, having gone to sleep and flouted potential arrangements within the electoral regime. Right. Having said that, in this process, is there a possibility that the court may eventually announce the outcome of this election, whether it goes to the left or right? If somebody presents a matter again before the court to relook at its own judgment and then bring the Electoral Commission before it. So potentially we are likely to have some days at the court going forward. But what is important for me to know is that the good people of this constituency must have their parliamentarian serving their interest in terms of this representative democracy, and better still contributing to the check on the executive arm of government, re-emphasizing the point that the democratic regime and the wheels of democracy must be unencumbered around this time as we continue to build on our democratic culture. Right. This particular constituency has been arguably that of the NPP, a safe one for them for that matter. Given the current trend, do you envisage or do you see a possible voter changing hands and switching from the NPP to the NDC? Some have argued that the NPP did not throw their support behind their candidate. I wanted to use former, but it might be unfair to the candidate. But to their candidate, because they are, among other things, of the view that the whole process is bedeviled by many errors or infractions. Second of all, it is also the case that the question about incumbency seems to be well and alive. That the government, the NDC government, won with about 1.7 million plus votes, unprecedented within the Fourth Republic, and the state is potentially in bed with the government. And around this time, would a cross-section of the state decide to vote against the candidate of the NDC, which has formed government? Okay. There is something in their mind, I'm sure. They are not sure that such a referendum against the government will take place. And for that matter, it may rather inure to the benefit of the government of the NDC, and for that matter, the NDC candidate. The third layer of this discussion is the fact that does the individual capacity, the knowledge, the expectation of the people broadly or narrowly dovetail into rather the charisma of the individual candidate as against party voting, and also the question of incumbency. Many factors may be at play today, but for me, what is significant is that what would come out as the final outcome should be a reflection of the expectations of the people and the real votes of the people being counted and reflecting the true winner amongst the lot, right?
Finally, what difference would he have made if the EC had taken the same position it took at Domi Kwabenya, where obviously we had an almost similar situation, but then the EC eventually, sitting with the various parties, decided or agreed that even if we put every other outstanding vote together, the vote difference between the winner and the loser at the time will be insignificant to make any difference for especially the losing party. And then let's come to Ablekuma North, where currently we know the vote difference is 48, and you have an outstanding 6,000 more votes to collate. Couldn't the EC have come to the same conclusion that perhaps given that one has a 48 vote lead, it would not make any difference even if the 6,000 is somehow assumed to be for one?
If it's as simple as that, then the electoral, I'm sure, returning officer would have done so with ease. I'm not sure that that it was as simple as it is, as spelled out. But having said that, we also have to look at some idiosyncrasy so far as the exercise of discretion is concerned within individuals, right? And that is why I'm of the view that even after this process, the principle of ultimate responsibility should be looked at, and punitive measures must be taken against officers who slept on their job. For me, that is my view on this.
Right. Okay. I said I was going to let you go, but finally, one question has just come through. So let me bring that before you. What difference would it make, especially in Parliament, looking at numbers, if the NPP is to win the seat? What difference would it make in Parliament?
If the NDC should win?
No, the MPP.
Yes, of course. I mean, at least it pushes them up a layer. There are questions around the 2/3 majority and all that.
Okay.
But for me, a victory for the NPP goes beyond the question of Parliament. That is why they ought to have been on the grounds campaigning, in a sense, to remobilize their forces and frontier within Ablekuma North. Significantly, also allowing what would happen there to resonate in other constituencies across the country, to at least show that the MPP is well and alive. And even if we should lose this election, it would rather be an agency or a fulcrum for a remobilization. It is something they have failed in doing. They have done so because of, if you like, the differences and the striking conflict and conflictual situations within their own party. That in itself also re-echoes the fact that the MPP is not well and alive, it is not doing well, and I hope that they remobilize their forces and vote against the current executives to allow new ones to emerge. Right.
Thank you so very much, Professor Idu Jemfi, for sharing your thoughts with us as far as this election is concerned at the Ablekuma North constituency. One question that's just popped up here, which I would gladly put forward to my next guest, will be whether or not there is going to be a political price to pay on the part of the NPP for the initial indecision, some call it, or their initial position not to participate. Will that have any cost in terms of political capital to the NPP as far as Ablekuma North is concerned? Let me also bring you back to the total number of polling stations and their locations within the constituency, just so that if you're just joining us, you will know that it is not the entirety of the constituency that is currently being or participating in the rerun. There are only 19 polling stations currently taking part in the rerun. These polling stations are God First International School, the Church of Pentecost, Mount Zion Assembly, Dakuma and Kwashibu respectively, and DVLA's offices around Awushi, Adamami, And then Adamami, you have a Siedu Jedu Memorial School. A Siedu Jedu Memorial School. You also have Living Spring Day Nursery based in Kwashibu. You have Presby Church Odoko number 4, Church of Pentecost North Odoko number 2, Church of Pentecost North Odoko number 4, Methodist Church Odoko number 1, the St. John the Baptist Catholic Church Odoko number 1, and Radiant Way Preparatory School North Odoko number 2, and Atiko School Complex Odoko, South Odoko 4 and 5 schools Odoko number 3, and the Church of Pentecost Trinidad number 2, Light of Gospel Miracle Church Trinidad number 2, and the MTTD Odoko Divisional Station that is slightly away from the Atiko or the Dakuman Junction if you're driving on the Odoko Kaswa Highway. You also have the Roman Catholic Church Busia Junction Odoko 1 and Bethel Baptist Church Sakama 1. These are the polling stations where elections are taking place this morning at the Ablekuma North constituency. You're watching GBC News, your most authentic source for news and stories of national interest. My name is Darrell Alantego. We're glad you're with us, and we're glad you're following us. We're also streaming live on our social media handles at GBC and at GTV Ghana. And so you can watch us live on Facebook. You can also watch us live on YouTube, where every of what we're doing currently is streaming live on there. We will be going on the ground, or we'll be going back down to Ablekuma North and reconnect with some of our reporters who are on the ground and bringing us up to the minute news and stories as they unfold. Not too long ago, we heard of an altercation between a journalist and a police officer. The journalist claims, though with evidence, is alleging that the police officer engaged him to step out of the polling area, but obviously he stood his ground as a reporter, and that didn't go down well with the police officer, and so he assaulted him. That obviously, if a formal complaint is made, will have to be investigated and appropriate sanctions applied where it is necessary. We also see in some footages online pointing to some confusion around the Church of Pentecost North Odoko. We're unsure if it's the 2 or the 4, but we have a reporter there, and so we will go to our reporter on the ground to find out what they know about this particular assault or this particular confusion, and whether or not that has any links to do with the presence of some political elements within the national politics, political circles. We currently have reporters stationed within the Ablekuma North constituency, and so the Ablekuma North constituency is very much firmly on our radar and under our radar. For those of you, or for those of us who do not know where to locate the Ablekuma North constituency, it is here in the Greater Accra region. It borders Ablekuma Central. It also borders Ablekuma West, Okankwe North, Okankwe Central, Okankwe South, Anya Soutum, and Weja Gbawe constituencies respectively. And these are the border or boundaries of the Ablekuma North constituency. It is interesting how it has safely been assumed to be a seat of the NPP, yet many can't say categorically that the NPP is going to retain that seat. We will We will be crossing over to Ablekuma North, as I mentioned once again. Cadmiel, our reporter, is on the ground. Let's go to him right away. Cadmiel, good morning once again. Thank you very much for rejoining. What more can you tell us where you are?
Yes, good morning. So, like earlier mentioned, I'm at a Methodist Church, Agyapong 1 police station. And so far, we have about almost 50 people coming in to vote. Initially, there are only as at around 7, there are about 25 voters, but then by now close to 50 have voted. And we see security being beefed up. Initially, we saw some people who are reported or alleged to have had a plan to maybe cause some form of mayhem. And because of the heavy presence of the security forces here, they were deterred and they had left. So at the moment, there's calm and there's peace here. One issue that just popped up was we have interviewed a couple of voters, and they said that they didn't get a chance to vote. From what I am seeing, I think that some people didn't really get the information well. The information is that in this particular polling station, there are about 3 or 4 polling stations within that little enclave here. However, it's just one polling station that was affected, or it's part of the 19 that are being voted, or that would have to partake in the electoral process today. So because of that miscommunication or misinformation that people have, some who were supposed to vote or whose names are in the other in the register of the other polling stations also came in to vote to exercise their franchise, but they were told that their names are not in the list. So the issue here has to do with the fact that they are not really sure. A lot of people were not really made aware of the fact that within this particular police station, where there are 4 police stations within this little enclave, only one is active or part of the 19 affected, and they are not aware of that. So those who are in the other police stations or whose names are in the other police stations have also come to vote here, and they were told that they are not supposed to vote here. So some of them are disappointed, but it's all a matter of misinformation or lack of awareness of the entire electoral process.
Is it the case that perhaps constituents are not aware that it is not the entirety of the constituency going to the poll, but then there's only 19 polling stations that are currently in contention, and therefore a rerun necessary?
Exactly, that's the obvious reason, because I think there should have been some public education by the EC. They should have made the people aware that even though this is Methodist Church or there are, or maybe perhaps should have indicated, put up some signposts to tell them that this particular police station or this particular area where there are 4 police stations here, it's only one that is working, or that it's only one that has been affected.
Right.
So that lack of publicity and awareness and education is what has amounted to this. So I have a feeling that we would even have more voters trooping in and going back disappointed because their names have not been seen, or they couldn't find their names in the register.
Aye obi na tone nyomo yabusuafo NPP pa na aye mobose na NPP stronghold di nka by this time ye to abane nka nipa bohodom pema anako bia ekwa akwache na adwen se ye maami akwafiye na ka ye peneso na ehwe de wi ehwa ye popra wo bia etu ne dan efensi hono eno kire wo se NPP amanyoko no se de ye ka se agija no agija ye pa na ba bia adwini so de adrubum se wo bi ama mama fa afensi konkonso ebeye dwe nyame ya adoma 2028 because mo strong would panye na say ye hwafo to aba na manfo agya ho ekom nnwuma so de wasem hu ni say bibi enkoye abusua mo gina so nyina yakopon onhira obi bi obi odne comment ba bia nyame enhira wo share so bia no twede apon yakopon onto wo nkwa na mu ya for Ken TV so enie abusua ebre ne so na say on ba be with the resource and so you best answer about life and the resource in who so about someone say any Samanyoko no asanso etimi agi city we na nyoma baba ye the mighty power majority in parliament ana say any Samanyoko no enso ena etimi retaining omu city na ni nyina mu no ye behu entebia entantin say dey no engo over there na ye hu bebia obia ejina ebuso ye dia je so any akua intiriwa macro. Hello.